Welcome back to consecutive day 983 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today I want to talk about an emotionally draining day as an entrepreneur. So please give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. As the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge, how you can get involved, in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 983 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today I want to talk to you about an incredibly emotionally draining day as an entrepreneur. So, sometimes you just have days that are so mentally draining, and today was very much one of them. And the reason for it is that, I'm pretty mentally resilient as an individual, but and when you're stuck in a zone, so sometimes you have a pretty challenging task to focus on, that you have to focus on, or occasionally you have some difficult conflicts to deal with, and you can prepare yourself for that and deal with that. And occasionally you have some exciting work to work on, and you have to obviously hold things together and stay grounded. I can focus on that. But where it becomes incredibly emotionally draining is when your emotions are really high and excitable, then very intense, and then very low. So it's like a roller coaster of emotions, and it's normally that transition from one state of mind to the next which is so draining. So what happened today in short form? Well, first and foremost, we started the morning with a meeting with a third party regarding a really exciting business opportunity that I'm looking to potentially invest in. And it's something, it's a challenging one because it's personal. It's an investment that I'll be doing personally, not with business partners. And I have these conversations with my business partners that should they be able, we have a kind of a rule that should we have a similar investment fund personally to kind of utilise between us, then I'm 100% open to joint venturing, because it makes it cleaner and kind of easier to kind of work with if you're both in it, and there's less conflicts of interest. But we also have an agreement that if one of us wants to do something the other one doesn't want to do, and we can obviously justify that our focus and effort is not going to deviate away from our joint goals, then we get the blessing of the other person. And that's one of those situations. But so the meeting this morning is very kind of hush-hush at the moment. Probably by the time you watch this, it'll be quite a long way further down the line. But it's an exciting opportunity, put it that way. It's local. It's something that I feel can add to the community as well where I reside, and it's something that I'm pretty excited about, because I think there's a real opportunity due to the timing. Lots of different factors have kind of presented the opportunity at a time when I would least expect it, but also when we can potentially strike a really good deal. So that meeting this morning, the kind of the wheels, the cogs are turning, the light bulb moments are flying around, loads of ideas, loads of creativity, loads of high energy in that type of meeting, and we've got some logical next steps to progress, to A, see if it's viable, B, take the opportunity forward. So really cool and exciting. Next, I travel an hour up the road to meet with my business partner and one of our internal sales guys, and we do a lot of work on goal tracking, analytics, personal wealth development, and something that I'm so passionate about. And the systems and processes in my money system, wealth creation system, has been game changing for me personally, and it's something that I help others with. And I don't charge, it's not mentorship or anything, but people who I've become friends with and I enjoy spending time with, I help out. And as part of that help is I formulate an accountability group around me, so that we can all focus on our disciplines, our accountability as a group, and our most importantly, our consistency in ensuring that we take action on a weekly basis and hold one another accountable to it. So really cool meeting, really useful, and a lot of the goals that these guys are working on are going to directly benefit me, which obviously makes it even better from my perspective. But it's quite intense when you start talking about metrics, figures, KPIs. you know, goal tracking, timelines, project management, all these types of things, is it's quite an intense analytical meeting where you need a real high degree of concentration. So that was the second meeting of the day, and it was a really productive one, a really good one, and I was delighted with the outcome. And then the third meeting, which was done over the phone, but it was a really, really challenging one, because it's a colleague who's going through some incredibly tough times financially, and I've had to try and formulate a kind of a package for this individual who can hopefully stabilise their position and give themselves a platform to grow again as an individual. Now, mistakes are often made in business, and I've made my fair share. I've experienced times of near bankruptcy, and it's horrendous. It eats away at you as an individual, and I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. And this individual is somebody who's very, very close to me, and you know, I'm always going to have the backs of people who I work with, I associate with, partner with, all these types of things, and this is somebody who falls into that category. And so we put together a kind of a rescue package, really, and something that's also viable for the business, because it ultimately is a business package, a cash flow package from the business in the form of some form of loan, which would then need to be paid back. How that is going to be paid back and how it's going to be structured is what we need to work out, what the amounts are. So there's a lot of kind of intricacies that go into this, but most importantly, it's something that needs to be done with empathy. And fortunately, I've been in that situation before, so it is something that I can very much empathise with. But it's really hard talking about kind of the arrangements of a loan when it is somebody's livelihood at stake, and it's really, really difficult to try and separate the line between, you know, emotion and logic. And I think we came to a sensible conclusion that will work for all parties involved, but clearly the individual who I was discussing this with would have ultimately felt pretty low. It's a low conversation to have, but I think, I hope they would have felt a significant amount of relief afterwards. And I think with the package that's been put together, there is a clear pathway to rebuilding and growing again as a person, because the last thing entrepreneurial people want to do is to have to drop into employment, which is not necessarily a drop, but it's a very different polarized role to entrepreneurship. And I think people who've been entrepreneurs in the past will really, really struggle with that transition. So doing everything in our power to avoid that happening and let this entrepreneurial person's brain and creativity and skill set grow them into a position again where they can get their true worth, which I have no doubt in my mind that this person will achieve. So but from a personal perspective, a really, really emotionally low, draining meeting, and I'm just frazzled at the end of it. So the last thing I need at 10 o'clock at night is a 7 and a bit K run to get my 983rd consecutive day running done. But you know what, I've done it. So the moral to the story is, understand that even the most mentally resilient people can feel mental fatigue, especially when emotional states sway, ebb and flow. It's like a roller coaster. I think when you're focused in the zone and you're focusing in one emotional state and one level of concentration, you can kind of build up a tolerance and an endurance. But it's the variation or transition of emotional states which is incredibly mentally draining. And when you've been through a day like today, you need to just switch off and rest, recuperate, recharge for the days ahead. So anyway, that's it for me today. As always, please do give us a subscribe, share, like and comment. As the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge and how you can get involved is in the link in the comments below. Thank you, as always. Stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.